Welcome, and welcome back to Embodied Living with Christy. I am Christy. I'm also recording here for my YouTube page, The Homesteading Healer. I am, as always, excited to be here and excited to be bringing a reminder to you today. So, this is something that I'm sure on the podcast I've talked about a lot before. So, maybe I feel like, or maybe you are going to feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's okay because I'm tapping into the collective today, and I'm just getting the nudge that maybe you guys and me, myself, are needing a little bit of reminder with this topic. So if you're new here, I am Christy. I am, or I have been, not I am, but I have been doing this podcast as a way to chronicle and sort of record and share my own self-healing journey. And it has sort of evolved a little bit over time as I have kind of come out of what I like to call sort of the thick of my healing. And I now include more tools and teachings and just things that you guys can use in your daily life too. And as for the Homesteading Healer YouTube channel, this is something that's very new and exciting for me. We're heading into autumn and winter now, so there's not going to be probably a ton of stuff on the homesteading side of things, but I'm just trying to be here and be present and share different things with you guys and sharing the healer aspect of things. So, anyway, let's go ahead and dive in to today's topic. And there's not really a title or a way that I can kind of ease into this. So we are really truly just going to dive in. So let me ask you this question. If you have been feeling overwhelmed, if it feels like anyway, or maybe it is the reality that you have a million different things going on, that you can never seem to catch a break, you just feel stressed out, go, just like fight or flight all the time. First of all, compassion to you. But second of all, if you are in a space of just kind of complaining or being upset that things are a certain way, ask yourself this, or let me ask you this. Are you doing anything to help yourself? Or are you just continuing to fly by the seat of your pants and, hope that maybe someday things will change or, something's got to give, but without actually taking any action to help change things for yourself? So ponder on that for yourself for a moment, because here's the thing. I'm not trying to shame you if you do feel like you have a million things going on, if you're very busy, if you just feel overwhelmed with the chaos of the world and your outer circumstances and all of that, because that is okay. If you're listening to this years and years into the future, which I don't know if you will be or not, it's October of 2021. And I reference this a lot in my episodes or in my videos because if people are listening in the future, if you weren't here or by chance weren't living in the craziness that has been COVID and et cetera, throughout 2020 and 2021, you won't know what this was like. Or maybe you won't remember what it was like. So first of all, give yourself a little bit of leeway, give yourself some patience, give yourself some compassion, because things are crazy. Like, things just are crazy, and we've all just kind of been expecting ourselves and expecting others to really just go about life as normal, even though life is the furthest thing from normal right now for many of us. So take a deep breath. Again, I'm not here to shame you. I send you compassion. I send you calming vibes and calming energy. But again, here's the thing. Even with all of those things going on, it's still your responsibility to do things for yourself that help you. And I generalize it like that because this is going to look different for everyone. So me, for example, especially if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that being outside is my thing, being around my ducks, spending time in nature, meditating, journaling. My comfort TV show is The Office. Loving on my dog, who's right here beside me. You can see on the video, but you can't see on the podcast. So those are just some things that help me help myself. And then there's the kind of deeper things as well, where I will go into meditation and do some actual healing on myself. I will make sure I'm practicing emotional regulation, right? So I'm allowing myself to sit and really let myself feel whatever I'm feeling, nervous system regulation, which is, in my personal opinion, one of the number one things that we can all be doing right now to take care of ourselves is nervous system regulation. Because, and God, I've talked about this a lot too. I feel like a lot of what I talk about is the nervous system and nervous system regulation. But it allows you to come out of that state of craziness or chaos or feeling like your mind can never just stop and rest. So nervous system regulation looks like exercising, getting outside into nature, cold therapy or cold exposure where you're taking cold showers, or like what I've been doing is at night when I'm laying in bed and I'm about to go to bed pretty soon, I'll lay an ice pack on my chest. Brings that inflammation of the nervous system down, and you come into the parasympathetic nervous system state of being, where it's that rest and digest. So there's lots of ways that you can take things a little bit deeper with helping yourself. But if you feel like you're not ready for that, if you feel like you maybe just feel like you have way too much going on to be able to, dedicate all this time to yourself. Well, first of all, it's not true that you need to spend hours and hours and hours a day, caring for yourself. So rid your mind of that excuse and that story that you don't have time, because likely you have 5 minutes in a day where you could do some deep breathing, where you could jot down in your journal the things that are stressing you out, right? You could do a little 5 or 10 minute guided meditation on YouTube. You could go for a walk around the block. Like, here's the thing. We let ourselves, and we all do this, and I'm guilty of this too, to this day, we let ourselves get wrapped up in these excuses that seem so real and true for us. Because some of us are just stubborn, right? Some of us have such a loud ego that we don't want to admit, yeah, there's probably better ways I could be spending my time and my energy, right? We don't want to admit that to ourselves, let alone others. So to step out of those stories, to step out of these cycles of making excuses, and I feel mean when I'm saying this and when I'm talking about this, but that's why I'm here today. I'm here today to be a little bit maybe more like mean, or to say things in this way, to almost, it's an image of just like, kind of just like grabbing you by the shoulders and just giving you a little bit of like a shake of just like, hey, like, wake up. This is what you have been doing. And you complain because you have a million things going on, or whatever it is for you, but yet you won't make changes, you won't help yourself. And here's here's an underneath layer to that. It's not just that we make excuses or we make stories. It's that we love to self-pity. And then sometimes we take it farther than that, and we love to seek pity from others. I was literally the poster child for this, like quite a few years ago now, is that I just felt so sorry for myself. And I wanted the attention of other people feeling sorry for me as well. So even when I, started opening up on social media about my depression, and this was years ago, this was like 7 or 8 years ago now, when I started, posting on Facebook. I think I did a couple videos where I talked about kind of, my story. That's the thing, is that I got wrapped up in it as a story. And that's how I started relating to people, or people started relating to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I got myself so like wrapped up in that, and I just wanted that. I just, like, my ego just craved that. Also, like, my self-worth wound, like, wounded inner child, just wanted that attention, just loved when, people would comment or message me and say, oh, I admire you so much for opening up. And I just, like, I kind of cringe now thinking about it, but that's where I was at that time. So, that's my own thing I try to practice, of not, like, judging where I was in the past. So, I have been there 100% of wanting that attention, of doing the whole self-pity thing. And here's where things can get tricky, because when we talk about, emotional regulation and emotional intelligence, and, not suppressing our emotions, I've talked a lot about that as well. You have to be able to do that without letting yourself stew in that. Does that make sense? So this is where it takes practice, and it takes the learning to kind of navigate through this and feel into this, is you need to be able to, like, yes, 100%, we all need every now and then to vent, or to rant, or to just scribble in our journal everything that's on our mind. That is a healthy practice. That is a healthy thing to do, because it allows you, it creates and gives you the space to not suppress your emotions. So we do need to acknowledge how we are feeling. We need to acknowledge how overwhelmed we are. We need to step back and say, hey, the world is really fucked up right now. Like, I think that a lot of us maybe have kind of like blinders on, or we just have been on autopilot. We've just kind of been trying to push through day to day, and we've just all been just like hanging in there, but also just kind of hanging on for dear life, right? So to acknowledge that, to be honest with yourself about how you're feeling, and whether that just looks like, again, journaling for yourself, talking with a friend. I personally, I don't share too much on social media, but sharing on social media is an option as well. So doing that, but doing that because you want to help yourself. Not doing that because you want to pity yourself, or you want attention, or you want, all of these like ulterior motives. So it's like this balance, right? Not even balance, but it's just like finding that kind of happy medium between the acknowledgement of how you're feeling, but not getting so sucked into that's just where you stay. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. So this is just something that you guys are welcome to think about for yourself. You're welcome to ponder this a little bit. And I have really, for me personally, started to, I've kind of finally come to a middle ground. So I used to share a lot on social media, um, about myself, about depression, about all of that stuff. I shared a lot, oftentimes with just like no filter, no nothing. And then a few years later, I got into a space where I started just being like kind of really hesitant and really scared to share things. So I had kind of both sides of the coin or both ends of the spectrum there. And now I have come into a space where I am aware, or I practice awareness and consciousness when I'm going to post something on social media. I will kind of just ask myself, okay, am I posting this for attention from others? Am I posting this just so that I get some likes and some comments? Am I posting this because I'm just angry and pissed off and I just want to rant? Am I posting this for, the reason or the purpose of wanting to help someone else? So I really try to just take a look at what my intentions are. Sometimes my intentions are coming from a place of ego. And then, sometimes they are coming from more of a I don't want to say like a pure place, but it's more like my higher self, right? Um, Sometimes I will write out a post or I'll even post something, and then 5 minutes later I'm like, ooh, no, like I don't want to have put those words and that energy out there. So wherever you're at with wherever you are, whatever's going on with you, I come back to this. Be gentle with yourself. And I had this, what the hell was it? Something popped up for me the other day. And I forget even what it was, and I don't even think I journal about it, so I can't go back and look. But, I thought of something about something I've been going through or a way that I've been feeling. And then I just had this wave of like, it's okay. Like, this is where I'm at right now, and it's okay. So take that for yourself. Wherever you're at, whatever's going on for you, whatever kind of level of consciousness you're at right now, whatever state of being you're in right now, it's okay, because our egos come in and they're very hard on us. And if we identify with our ego, if we think that our ego is us, is our own voice talking to us, which it sounds like it is, so it can be very hard to discern and to identify when it's actually our ego. But our ego makes us wrong, and it tells us we shouldn't be feeling this way. We shouldn't post this. We shouldn't talk about this. We should just feel sunshine and rainbows. Like, no, okay? Shut that shit down, because there's no there's no right or wrong for you personally for where you're at. And if you are in some sort of healing journey or spiritual journey for yourself, you might look at someone like me or another mentor, teacher, or healer and think, wow, like they're so evolved, they're so like conscious, and you might have these types of things in your head. Like, no, no. It's just that maybe I have done a little bit more work than you at this point in time. So I'm just in a bit of a higher vibration than you. I'm in a different state of consciousness because I've been doing the work for a year compared to if you're just starting doing the work, right? So think about that too. Think about who you might be putting like on a pedestal, because I have done that. Like a few different times is I just get it in my head like, wow, they're so wise, they know so much, and I have given over my own power and my own trust to somebody else other than myself. And please don't do that. I'm literally just a normal human woman, and I've said this before, who has done work, inner work to heal myself, to heal my inner child. Yes, I work in quantum. Yes, I'm an energy healer. Yes, I go deep into these meditations and I have these profound healing experiences, and I can facilitate those for you and give you those as well. But you are your own best healer. You are your own best compass. So I come on here and I talk about these things. Take what resonates for you and leave the rest. Like, I'm not the be all end all of any topic on anything. I just come and I share my experiences. I talk about things like this because I think it's important to know that you can do this too. Like, I'm not some enlightened, all knowing, ethereal being. I'm just here as a multidimensional light being living in a human body, living in this physical reality, doing my best to heal my wounds, doing my best to clear, past lifetimes and heal my lineage and be a cycle breaker. I'm here just doing my best doing those things. And by me sharing my experiences and sharing the things that work for me, maybe that opens up a new doorway for you. So please don't put me or anyone else on a pedestal. Always return within to yourself. That's why it's so important to learn to get in touch with your own intuition, with your own inner guidance system, so that you can, consume something like my podcast or my videos or the things I share on social media or anyone else for that matter. And you have the discernment, which means you have the ability to see what's true for you and leave the rest. And then who knows, in a year you might come back to this podcast episode. Like if something doesn't resonate right now, maybe you'll come back to it in 6 months or a year and it will resonate at that time because you have up-leveled yourself. You're in a different state of consciousness at that point in time. So that's cool too. Okay, that I think is going to be it for today. If you have any questions, if you need help working on this, you can book one-on-one sessions. You can email me with questions, comments, anything like that. I will say, and I think I'm going to keep this as an offering. I don't have it listed on my website right now, but I do have nervous system regulation 3-session packages. So you get 3 sessions in a package for $150 right now. I was going to do it as a limited time thing, but I think I'm going to leave it for now anyway as a permanent offering. Again, I don't have it on my website, but if you see me on social media and things like that, you've seen me post here and there about it. So you can feel free to book in for something like that. You can keep all 3 sessions for yourself, or you can share them, whatever feels right for you. But that's just going to help you calm your nervous system down, become more grounded in yourself and less concerned and worried and stressed about the outer circumstances, right? The things that are going on outside of you. So again, I'll put my link tree where you can find everything that you need. Okay. I'll leave it at that. As always, so grateful and appreciative for you being here, for you listening. And I just am sending you love, sending you just calm, peaceful energy. And I will see you next time. Kisses. Love you so much. Bye.